hello. Thank you. The week before Christmas, an office manager sent me a text. Well, she forwarded a text from the doctor's favorite dental assistant. It read, "I quit." Many of the generations in this room are thinking, who would do that? Why would they do that? And the other generations are saying, what's the problem with that? Texting is a form of communication, isn't it? The definition of the generation gap is the lack of communication and understanding between older people and younger people as a result of different life experiences. When asked to recall how and where Kennedy died, the boomers said, gunshots in Dallas. The nexters said, in a plane crash off of Martha's Vineyard. The millennials said, Kennedy who? One generation reads the newspaper and watches the news. They admire and trust the media. They use their cell phones to call people. The other generation gets their news from their friends, social media, online. They rarely, if ever, read a newspaper or watch the news. They turn to influencers for advice on purchasing and decision-making. They text, they don't call, and they are wizards with their cell phone. According to a recent survey, 70% of older people were dismissive of the younger workers' abilities. And 50% of the younger people said the old people were out of touch. Boomers have been labeled self-centered with a sense of entitlement and are workaholics who are also uncomfortable with conflict and really don't like feedback. The Gen Xers, also known as the slacker generation, are cynical, lazy, skeptical, really don't like authority, and are wary of experts. The Y generation, the millennials, favorite place to play, work, and form relationships is on the internet. They were given awards for showing up as children. They also expect constant weekly, even daily feedback. If all we do is label, point fingers and say, well, if only they would change, how will we ever bridge the generation gap and come together as Generation Us? You can't make a boomer into a millennial. You can't make a millennial into a boomer. If you force one generation into the mold of another, it's a recipe for disaster. One proven technique to bridge the gap and unite as the Us generation is to adopt a communication style using the TAP method of communication. T stands for to the point. Be brief and succinct. The older generation will appreciate your clarity, and the younger generation will like your conciseness. A, adapt your communications to your audience. If you need to engage an older worker, see them face to face or call them. If you'd like to engage your younger employees and they like text, well then why not? P stands for professional. You can never lose if you can keep your communications professional. Leave out the jargon and the abbreviations. Respect is what we all desire. if we will respect the difference in generations and the individual, we will create an environment where everyone will benefit. We can, through respect, create an environment where Generation Us can thrive. Thank you.